Okay, so we look at Call of Duty Black Ops 4 at 21/9. Every other year or so, I love returning to COD when Treyarch releases their title, and this year is thankfully their turn. Now, COD has a distinctly awful history with PC support in the past, and even though things have been getting better, I was still extremely surprised to find out how well this game supports PC. Yes, performance-wise it could do with some improvements, specifically for normal multiplayer and blackout game modes, but yeah, on the whole, it is a bloody lovely experience. So 21/9 wise, we are supported natively. No modding or patches required, just boot this up and off you go. Now that said, at 3440x1440 I had tiny black bars on the sides of the screen, and this does happen with some titles, and I'm putting that down to them supporting the ultra-wide aspect ratio of 2560x1080 instead of specifically 3440x1440. So due to their technically slightly different aspect ratios, you'll get tiny slithers of black bars at 3440, but don't worry, it's seriously small. It's hard, I want to mark them down for it, but I can't say it's a big issue. It's just a minor frustration that both ultra-wide resolutions aren't supported perfectly. So yes, regardless, gameplay correctly shows up more on the sides of the screen at all moments. The HUD can be set to any position between 4x3 and 21/9. By the way, I should note that 32/9 is supported natively. There is a great FOV slider that genuinely will give you a very high chance of achieving your perfect view. Cutscenes are a mix of 16:9 with black bars and in-game 21/9 moments. The menus are mainly ultra-wide, though with some 16:9 with black barred moments. And finally, loading screens are 16:9 with black bars. Performance-wise, it runs okay. Zombies runs the best without doubt. You can use high to highest everything settings and maintain a solid 60 FPS plus at all times on a GTX 1080 Ti at 3440x1440. By the way, don't forget to turn that resolution scale up. It natively, at least for me, was set to like 70%, so you're not actually rendering a true 1440p image, even though that resolution is selected. Now, as for normal multiplayer and blackout, well, performance is notably worse. I found I had to drop to medium-high settings to stop the serious FPS dips from really impacting my play. The main reason being, whilst in a non-competitive, non-first-person environment, FPS fluctuations don't matter so much. You can vary, still have a high, smooth frame rate, and not notice the general ups and downs, if they're reasonable, that is. However, here, FPS fluctuations really noticeably impact accuracy. A sudden slowdown in performance can throw off your aim easily enough to miss your shots and you're dead. So it's far better to drop your graphic settings to ensure these happen as little as possible. What is actually a problem though, is to avoid this issue as a whole, I would usually set a game to a max FPS cap of 60. That way, regardless of a 90 FPS to 70 FPS sudden drop, I'll still maintain that 60 FPS on screen. I do this, for example, in AC Origins and now Odyssey. However, Black Ops 4, when you cap the FPS in the settings, invokes a lot of screen tearing, even though your performance is locked at that cap. I don't know why this is, but it means I have to turn down the graphic settings instead of having the highest settings and just playing at 60. It's a bit of a nuisance, and I'm guessing you could avoid these issues by manually going to NVIDIA control panel, setting your panel's refresh rate to 60, and then loading up the game, and it natively now thinks that you're running at 60, but I haven't tried this, and it's hardly a realistic solution. On the whole, I don't really have much of a problem with the game's optimization. I just feel it really could do with a few updates. If anything, just fix that FPS capping screen tearing and I'd be very happy. General PC support wise, well, it has to be commended to the devs that they really went in. You can change pretty much everything in this game, from HUD layout to style, gameplay controls, visuals, inputs, feedback, etc, etc. There are an abundance of settings to play with on top of the standard graphics settings. It is really appreciated when devs put this kind of work in, as with PC being so diverse a platform, there will always be those people that need a tweak here or there to really help them enjoy the experience, instead of having to put up with something just because the devs couldn't be bothered to give the player options. So yes, I've played more COD than I can ever care to admit growing up, and whilst I rarely play it nowadays, I really have loved smashing through levels of multiplayer and surviving in zombies. This is a fantastic COD experience. There are easily the most maps available at launch than I can ever remember, though of course that's because there's no single player, and multiplayer and zombies have both seen some lovely overhauls in gameplay features and designs to make them feel somewhat fresh and interesting whilst keeping it very familiar. And oh yeah, having that gore back in multiplayer is appreciated. Still, it's not as good as World at War, but it's in the right direction. Wow, I miss World at War. Now, one issue I do worry about is player numbers. Currently, I've had little problem getting games I want, but I've always found COD games to quickly dwindle in numbers on PC, and this could be mitigated with having cross-platform play support, at least between Xbox users and PC, but yeah, that doesn't exist. And before you say it wouldn't be fair, controllers can't match up to mouse and keyboard, I can say from personal experience they certainly can with practice. I've always played COD with a controller, and I've never had an issue doing well after some warming up. Of course, there are other variables that give PC users an edge, but whatever way you look at it, it's better to have players able to get games and play against one another, even if there is a slight imbalance, than for no games to be possible at all for anyone. If anything, just make it so that if you're playing against Xbox users, you have to use a controller on PC. Simple, just like GTA did with splitting controllers and mouse and keyboard users. Anyway, I'm going to give it a WAF score of 4. Recommending this isn't hard. There are a slew of absolutely awful COD PC titles, especially for COD titles I love, but this is easily the best. It's a great PC supported title, and if you like COD at all, be it for the multiplayer, zombies, or if you're interested in the actually pretty decent Battle Royale mode, then it's damn likely you're going to enjoy this. The ultra-wide support being so perfect too is just a lovely touch. Anyway, I hope that gives you some information on the game runs at 21x9. Give this video a like if you found it helpful, and subscribe for future info. For any of the games at 21x9, head over to my channel, the WAF website. Hopefully I've covered it. If I haven't, then leave a comment down below and I'll try and cover it. And if you'd like to support the channel, links by Patreon page in the description. Amazon affiliate links are there too. See you later.
Special weapon ready. Lost the lead. Special weapon charged. Sole survivor.